Hey explorers, if the world feels louder than it used to, heavier to carry and harder to make sense of, I want you to hear this first, okay? This is not a personal failure. This is a human response to the environment that we're actually living in. We are not broken. We are what? We are overloaded. I want to share a story, okay? As I grew up in Fremont, Nebraska, I loved canoeing the Platte River from North Bend to Fremont. I just loved it. In the summer, I paddled it almost every weekend. I brought friends, I knew the bends, I knew the sandbars, I knew the rhythm of that river. It actually lived in me. I knew it so well that one summer I decided to canoe it at night. I thought I'd calculated the moonrise correctly, but I hadn't. I put in at 10 p.m. and for the next 3 hours, I paddled in pitch darkness. No horizon, no landmarks, no reflection off the water. I had a flashlight, but I couldn't paddle and hold the flashlight at the same time, So the flashlight, it would go on and then off again, and then on and off. And every time I would turn it on, I'd catch glimpses. Deer crossing the river, obstacles I really needed to miss, shadows that disappeared as quickly as they appeared. Mostly I paddled in the dark. And something interesting happened. I stopped relying on sight and I started listening. The sound of the water told me when it was getting too shallow. The current told me where the channel was. Strange splashing startled me until I realized it was beavers swimming up out of curiosity and then slapping the water with their tails and then disappearing again. After 5 hours, I finally reached the end and I pulled my canoe onto the shore. Here's why all this matters, okay? That night, it taught me something. When you lose visibility, you don't stop moving. You change how you orient. And that's exactly what's happening right now. The world feels louder because we're surrounded by more noise, more opinions, more alerts than the human brain was designed to process. It feels heavier because we're carrying emotional weight without healthy ways to release it. We witness suffering we can't fix. We absorb fear that we didn't create. And it feels more confusing, not because we lack information, but because we've lost orientation. Modern life is like paddling a river at night in a storm, with voices shouting directions from the shore. The solution, though, isn't shouting louder. It's learning how to orient again. You don't get to control the noise and you don't control the storms, right? But you do control how you listen, how you anchor, how you move forward. So here are 3 grounding moves for you, okay? First, reduce input. Not everything deserves your access to your nervous system. Okay? Second, re-anchor your identity. When the world is unstable, identity becomes our compass. When you choose to be what matters more than what's happening around you. And third, choose one act of agency. One aligned stroke of the paddle. Right where you are. That's how clarity returns. Not all at once, but enough. So if the world feels louder and heavier and more confusing right now, it doesn't mean something is wrong with you, okay? It means it's time to stop reacting and start orienting. Start small, choose who you are, take one aligned stroke, and let that be enough for today, all right? Stay curious, explorers. Stay curious.
This is Dean Jacobs Adventures.